Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Umagdanatimirandasya Gyananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Darati Svapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapatakalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakamnitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarupyascha Kripa Sindhupya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Shinvatam Svakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Rityandastoya Bhadrani Vidunuti Suhritsatam Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Before reciting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Shri Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Okay, so today we continue. Oh, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, all
Hare
glory.
Krishna, Tanda Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
So today we continue 4.8.15. Tam nishvasantam spuritadarastaham sunitirutsangauduhya balam nisham yatat pauramukhan nitantam savivyate yadgaritam sapantya tam him nishvasantam heavily breathing spurita trembling Adara Ostam, upper and lower lips. Suniti, Queen Suniti. Utsange, on her lap. Uduhya, lifting. Balam, her son. Nishamya, after hearing. Tatpauras Mukhat, from the mouths of other inhabitants. Nitantam, all description. Sa, he. She. Vivyate became aggrieved, yet that which Gaditam spoken, Sapatnya by her co-wife. Translation. When Dhruva Maharaj reached his mother, his lips were trembling in anger, and he was crying very grievously. Queen Suniti immediately lifted her son onto her lap while the place Palace residents who had heard all the harsh words of Suruchi related everything in detail. Thus Suniti also became greatly aggrieved. Text number 16. Sotsrija dhairyam vilalapashoka davagnina davalateva bala vakyam sapatnya smarati saroja shriyadrisha bashpakalam uvaha. She, Utsrija, giving up, Dhairyam, patience, Vilalapa, lamented, Shoka, Shokadavagnina, by the fire of grief, Davalat, Davalataiva, like burned leaves, Bala, the woman, Vakyam, words, Sapatnya, spoken by her co-wife, Smarati, remember, Sarojasriya, a face as beautiful as lotus, Trisha, by looking, Bashpakalam, weeping, Uvaha, say, translation. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This incident was unbearable to Suniti's patience. She began to burn as if in a forest fire, and in her grief she became just like a burned leaf, and so lamented, As she remembered the words of her co-wife, her bright lotus-like face became filled with tears, and thus she spoke. Purport. When a man is aggrieved, he feels exactly like a burned leaf in forest fire. Suniti's position was like that, and although her face was as beautiful as lotus flower, it became dried up because of the burning fire caused by the harsh words of her co-wife. 17. Tirgam svashanti vrijanasya param apashyati balaka mahabala mamangalam tata pareshu mamsta bhunkte jano yat paradukta dastat. Dirgam, heavy. Svashanti, breathing. Vrijinasya, of the danger. Param, imitation. Apashyati, without finding. Balakam, to her son. Aha, said. Bala, the lady. Ma, let. There not be. Amangalam, ill fortune. Tata, my dear son. Preshu, unto others. Mamsta, desire. Bhunkte, suffer. Jana, person. Yat, that which. Paradukkada, who is apt to inflict pain upon others. Yat, that. Translation. She also was breathing very heavily, and she did not know the factual remedy for the painful situation. Not finding any remedy, she said to her son, My dear son, don't wish for anything inauspicious for others. Anyone who inflicts pains upon others suffers himself from that pain. Really nice verse. Text number 18. Satyam Surucha Bihitam Bhavan Me Yadrukhaga Jagdurbhagaya udare grihita stanyena vriddascha vilajyate yam bharyeti va vodumidas patirmam. Satyam, truth. Surucha, by Queen Suruchi. Abhihitam, narrated. Bhavan, unto you. Me, of me. Yat, because. Durbhagaya, of the unfortunate. Udare, in the womb. Grihita, taken birth. Stanyena, fed by the breast milk. Vriddha cha, grown up. Vilajyate, becomes ashamed. Yam, unto one. Bharya, wife. Iti, thus, va, or vodum, to accept. Idaspati, the king. Mam, me. Mam, me. Translation. Suniti said, "My dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi is so. Because the king your father does not consider me his wife or even his maidservant, he feels ashamed to accept me, so it is a fact that you have taken birth in the womb of an unfortunate woman, and by being fed from her breast, you have grown up." Text number 19. आदिष्टतत्तविमत्सरस्त्वम् उक्तं समात्रापि यदव्यलीकम् आराध्य आराध्यदोक्षजपाद पादपद्मं यदिच्छसेत्यासनम् उत्तमो यथा आदिष्टा, just to execute that. Tata, my dear son, Vimatsara, without being envious, Tvam, unto you, Uktam, said, Samatrapi, by your stepmother, Yat, whatever, Avyalikam, they are all factual, Aradhya, just begin worshipping, Adokshaja, the transcendence, Pada Padmam, lotus feet, Yadi, if, Ichase, desire, Adhyasanam, to be seated, along with Uttama, your stepbrother, Yatha, as much as. Translation. My dear boy, whatever has been spoken by Suruchi, your stepmother, although very harsh to hear, is factual. Therefore, if you desire at all to sit on the same throne as your stepmother Uttama, then give up your envious attitude and immediately try to execute the instruction of your stepmother. Without further delay, you must engage yourself in worshipping the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: the harsh words used by Suruchi to her stepson were true because, unless one is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot achieve any success in life. Man proposes, God disposes. Suniti, the mother of Dhruva Maharaj, agreed with her co-wife's advice that Dhruva engage himself in the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indirectly, the words of Suruchi were a benediction for Dhruva Maharaj, for because of the influence of the words of the stepmother, he became a great devotee. Oh, Hare Krishna, Gaura Shakti, Prabhu Tanda Pram, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhupada, Pranjay, Shri Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you for joining, Prabhu.
I just joined to say hi because I
Yes,
need to
Prabhu.
go now. I need to
Yes, thank you
prepare
so
for
much.
the reading session. Yeah, so
Yes, Prabhu.
I didn't want to disturb you, so please forgive me for that.
No,
Panchakalpatalubecha,
Prabhu.
Divasindu Bevacha,
Panchakal Gurupusya
Pavane,
Kripa Sindhu
Krishna
Prema
Mahaprabhu.
Patitanam Pavanapyo Vaishnavepyo
So
Namo Namo. Thank you so
I'm very
much. Thank
happy
you.
to see you. Only two of you were, both of
Yes,
you were there.
Prabhu. I don't know what happened today. We started normal time.
Yes, but obviously they are busy, huh?
Yes,
They are
Prabhu.
busy. Mm, yeah. So I'm very sorry, but yeah, I can't stay long. Huh? I need to go
Yes, Prabhu.
to prepare the session also.
That's okay. Even little moment in your association is beneficial for us.
Yes,
It's
Prabhupada.
it's the other way around, you know. It's beneficial also for me. Yeah, I'm so fallen.
Krishna
So
Prabhu.
I finished the Krishna book, yesterday.
Oh,
Finish
Haribol.
all
Yes,
the
Prabhu.
Krishna book.
Hare Prabhupada.
Maybe
Yeah.
we joined to watch your session after reading
Yeah,
session.
actually now it's more like giving a class, like
Yes,
I
Prabhu.
will read for Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It's like this. I will read like one or two verses, sometimes more. It depends, and then I will develop uh, some thing about this. Some I will develop. It's for me. It's better to do like this. Like this, I can also relate to Bhagavad Gita, and they can learn more. Even those who are following me, they can learn many more things. So I'll do like that now. I'm reading, but not like you are reading. Like
Yes, Prabhu.
reading. This is not for like this, because actually there are few person who follow me regularly every day actually, and they try to understand, so I need to, to develop more on that, so that's why. Mm. So now in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, I'm in the fifth canto, 14th chapter,
Oh, Haribol.
88,
Yeah, that's pretty fast progress, Prabhu.
yeah, 28. But it diminished because the speeding decreased, because I try to do like this, just one or two verses, and then just try to develop more, and do some, try to also share some, Bhagavad Gita verse, and try to explain more
Yes,
about
Prabhu.
what we are reading. And for me, it's better also. Like this, I can also, memorize better and understand more, and memorize the verses also. It's very nice, actually. Non, rien. Tu vas, just wait. Tu as pris mon argent là? Non. Bah, va doucher, d'accord? On verra ça après. Moi, je peux pas offrir les glaces, d'accord? Donc, va doucher avant, d'accord? On verra après ça. C'est pas grave, je peux pas offrir les glaces.
Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhu,
it's
this is
nice. So
very nice.
he wanted to
I've
buy
been seeing
some
sometimes also.
ice cream, something like that.
Oh,
So yeah, I told him that I can't offer that to Krishna. So
but you
I'm
can
not
make
his
ice
customer.
cream, Prabhu.
Yeah, I can.
If you
I
have
will try
freezer.
to make it.
I never tried it.
Yeah, I know they make ice cream with fruits,
Yes,
some
Prabhu. One
fresh
time
fruits.
Nimanita Prabhu made. It looked
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. I will try some if I had the time, and I need to have the fridge also. I
Yes,
try to
Prabhu, your
do
pizza looked nice.
that. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm learning from the best pizza maker.
No, Prabhu, you're
I'm
better. I saw the dough. It was very nice.
No,
I
but
was
I
trying
just
to
try.
taste it in my mind, Prabhu. I was
Yeah, it's quite nice, but I need to perfect the dough, I need to find the right texture.
Yes,
But
Prabhu. Where did
yeah,
you try
it's
it?
very nice.
Did you
Hmm?
use oven?
What you say, bro?
Did you use like regular oven?
Yes, regular one, but it's quite nice.
How hot it
Uh,
goes? Is it like really hot?
really hot, yeah,
Oh, Haribo.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But the dough should be. If you put more water or less water, it's not the
Yes, Prabhu.
same.
So you put baking soda. Did you put
Yeah,
something sour to make it? Did you put some yogurt or something like that?
no, not yet, Prabhu. I never try. I just try with some, uh, basic ingredients, some basic.
Yes, Prabhu, but it looked better than mine. So now I need to change up.
No problem. This is just because I put some baking soda and but yeah, but perhaps it's because how to make it, you have to put enough water,
Hmm.
and yeah, because before Krishna consciousness, I was making some, bread, and I know how to do this,
Hmm.
so yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu, I need to
So
try it again.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for the kind word, but I just try to
Yes,
to
Prabhu.
perfect this art, not only to make pizza, but prashadam,
Did your
I
son
try
taste the
to.
pizza?
Yes, he tasted.
Oh,
He
Haribo.
loved. I made. Uh, s- how to say that? I don't know the English word, but it is pizza, but it is closed one.
Yeah, I saw
close.
that.
You,
Yeah,
you know that?
yes, like call zone, they call it here.
Carlson, yeah.
Yes,
The
bro.
the the, he like the Carlson.
Yes, bro. I was seeing how did you do this? First
No,
he saw this,
actually,
suddenly next day it's
actually, he liked that because he said there are more stuff in it, because you can put more stuff in it.
yes, bro.
This is not like the pizza, you just have less ingredient in it on it. Like the calzone, you can put more stuff in it, right?
Did you use like
More
the same
sauce.
dough?
Yes, I use the same, yeah. I use the
Hmm.
same.
Yeah, I need to try this actually. This was nice
Yeah, you need to try this.
inspiration.
This is very nice, bro.
But
This
what
is
you put
very
inside there?
the same ingredient, but you
Hmm.
put more. You can
Yes,
put
bro.
more, little more.
Yes,
Yeah,
bro. This will be nice.
just like some bread, and you stuff something in it.
Yes, bro. I never
Yeah,
thought to
and
try it.
it's really good, bro. Really, really nice. You should try that. Yeah.
Yes,
So
bro.
sorry for disturbing this transcendental reading with some pressure I'm making.
Yes,
I'm
thank
very
you for
sorry
sharing
about
this.
that. Yeah, thank you
Yes,
very much for your association. Now the disturbance need to go. I will
no
uh,
problem.
I will not disturb you no more. Thank you for your precious association, and
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
congratulations. You are progressing very well, in the fourth canto, Dhruva Maharaj story. Very nice.
Yes, Prabhu. Now we are going much faster.
Yes, yes. You will definitely catch me because
Yes,
now
Prabhu.
I'm going. I decrease my speed.
I will even
But
catch myself, Prabhu.
yeah, I assume that you will catch yourself and even,
Yes,
you know, go further.
yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu. I need to catch.
This is reading in association of devotee. This is very nice. Huh?
Yes,
This
Prabhu.
is so nice. So keep going, Prabhus. Thank you very much, and please forgive me for the disturbance. I'm very
Thank you so
sorry.
much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Jai Shila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Siddharth Prabhu, Dandar Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Krishna, Siddhartha, Nityananda, Shakrapali.
Who wants to read next?
Hare Prabhu,
Yes, Prabhu. Haribol.
just a moment. Can you show me the Sanskrit verse as well, Prabhu? I'll use this opportunity to polish relearn. Yeah. Text 20. Yasyang gripang grip yasyang grip padmam paricharya vishwa vibhavanayat kunat bhipatehe अजोध्य तिष्ठत् खलु परमेष्टयम् पदं चितात्मं श्वसनाभिवन्धं वन्ध्यं यस्य whose angry leg padam lotus feet paricharya worshipping vishwa universe vibhavanya for creating arta received guna vipatehe for acquiring the required qualifications ajaha the unborn lord brahma adhyayatishtat became situated khalu undoubtedly parameshthyam parameshthyam the supreme position within the universe padam position jita atma one who has conquered his mind shwasana by controlling the life air avivandyam worshipable translation Suniti continued the supreme personality of godhead is so great. Prabhu, Suniti is the mother of Dhruva Maharaj, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
We missed the day, right? Suniti continued, the supreme personality of Godhead is so great that simply by worshipping his lotus feet, your great grandfather, Lord Brahma, acquired the necessary qualifications to create this universe. Although he is unborn and is the chief of all living creatures, he was situated in that exalted post because of the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whom even great yogis worship by controlling the mind and regulating the life air, prana. Purport. Suniti cited the example of Lord Brahma, who was Dhruva Maharaja's great grandfather. Although Lord Brahma is also a living being, by his penance and austerity, he acquired the exalted position of creator of this universe by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. To become successful in any attempt, one has to undergo severe penances and austerities, but also must be dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To become successful in any attempt, one not only has to undergo severe penances and austerities, but also must be dependent on the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This indication had been given to Dhruva Maharaja by his stepmother and was now confirmed by his own mother, Suniti. Tata Prabhu, the Sanskrit version as well. Yeah. Tatha Munarvo Bhagavan Pitamaho Yame Kamtya Purodakshinai Makaihi Ishtva Nipede Duravapat Bhaumam Sukham Divyat Mathapavargyam. Tata, similarly, Manuhu Swayambhuva Manu Vaha, your Bhagavan worshipable Pitamaha grandfather Yam, unto whom Ekamatya with unflinching devotion, Puru great, Dakshinehi charity, Makhehi by executing sacrifices, Istva worshipping, Abhipede achieved, Durvapam difficult to achieve, Anyataha by any other means, Bhaumam material, Sukham happiness, Divyam celestial, Atha thereafter, Apavargyam liberation. Translation: Suniti informed her son, your grandfather Swayambhuva Manu executed great sacrifices with the distribution of charity and thereby with unflinching faith and devotion, he worshipped and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By acting in that way, he achieved the greatest success in material happiness and afterwards achieved liberation, which is impossible to obtain by worshipping the demigods. Purport: the success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness in this life and liberation in the next. The success of one's life is measured by one's material happiness in this life and liberation in the next. Such success can be achieved only by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words ekamatya mean concentrating one's mind on the Lord without deviation. This process of undeviating worship of the Supreme Lord is also expressed in Bhagavad Gita as Ananya Bhag, that which is impossible to obtain from any other source is also mentioned here. Other source refers to worship of the demigods. It is especially stressed here that the opulence of Manu was due to the undeviating faithfulness in the transcendental service of the Lord. One who diverts his mind to worshipping many demigods to obtain material happiness is considered to be bereft of intelligence. If anyone wants even material happiness, he can worship the Supreme Lord without deviation. And persons who are desirous of liberation can also worship the Supreme Lord and achieve their goal of life. Prabhu, the Sanskrit part? Thank you. Text 22. Tameva Patasashraya Bhrityavatsalam मुमुक्षुर्मध्यपदाब्जपदत्तिम् अनन्यमावे निज घर्म भाविते मन्यस्य मनस्य भजस्व पुरुषम tam him eva also vatsa my dear boy ashraya take shelter Dhritya Vatsalam of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees. Mukshubihi, also by persons desiring liberation. Mridya, to be sought after. Padobaja, lotus seed. Padatem, system. Ananya Bhave, in unflinching situation. Nija Dharma Bhavite, being situated in one's original constitutional position. Manasi, unto the mind. Avasthapya, placing. Bhajasva, go on executing devotional service. Purusham, the Supreme Person. Translation, my dear boy, you also should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is very kind to his devotees. Persons who are seeking liberation from the cycle of birth and death always take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in devotional service. Becoming purified by executing your allotted occupation, just situate the Supreme Personality of Godhead in your heart and without deviating for a moment, engage always in service. And without deviating for a moment, engage always in his service. Purport. The system of Bhakti Yoga described by Queen Suniti to her son is a standard way of God realization. Everyone can continue in this constitutional occupational duties and at the same time keep the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart. This was also instructed by the Lord himself to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Go on fighting, but keep me within your mind. That should be the motto of every honest person seeking perfection in Krishna consciousness. In this connection, Queen Suniti advised her son that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Pratyavatsala, which indicates that he is very kind to his devotees. She said, "You came to me crying, having been insulted by your stepmother, but I'm unable to do any good for you. But Krishna is so kind to his devotees that if you go to him, then the combined kindness of millions of mothers like me would be surpassed by his affectionate and tender dealings. The combined kindness of millions of mothers like me would be would be surpassed by his affectionate and tender dealings. When everyone else fails to mitigate one's misery, Krishna is able to help the devotee." Queen Suniti also stressed that the process of approaching the Supreme Personality of Godhead is not easy, but is sought after by great sages who are very advanced in spiritual realization. Queen Suniti also indicated by her instruction that Dhruva Maharaja was only a small child, 5 years old, and it was not possible for him to purify himself by the way of Karma Kanda. But by the process of Bhakti Yoga, even a child less than 5 years old or anyone of any age can be purified. That is the special significance of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, she advised him not to accept worship of the demigods or any other process, but simply to take to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the result would be all perfection. As soon as one places the Supreme Personality of Godhead within one's heart, everything becomes easy and successful. Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Prabhu, Tanda Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Prabhu, the Sanskrit part.
Sri Krishna Prabhu Tanda Pranam Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Text 23. Nanyam tataha patna palashalo chanad dukkachindam te mrgayami kanchana यो मृगयते हस्तग्रहितपद्या घृतपदामया श्रिये तरङ्गा विमृग्यमान्या. No, nanyam, no others. Tataha, therefore, Padma Palasha Lochanat, from the lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dukkha Chittam, one who can mitigate others' difficulties. Te, your Vrigyami, I am searching after. Kanchana, anyone else. Yaha, who Mrigyate, searches. Hasta Grihita Padamaya, Padmaya, taking a lotus flower in the hand. Shriya, the goodness of fortune. Sorry, Shriya, the goddess of fortune. Itaraihi, by others. Anga, my dear boy. Vimragya Manya, one who's worshipped. Translation: My dear Dhruva, as far as I am concerned, I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distressed condition, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose eyes are like lotus petals. Many demigods, such as Lord Brahma and others, seek the pleasure of the goddess of fortune. But the goddess of fortune herself, with a lotus flower in her hand, is always ready to render service to the Supreme Lord. Purport: Suniti pointed out herewith that the benediction received from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that received from the demigods are not on equal level. Foolish persons say that no matter whom one worships, one will get the same result. But actually, that is not a fact. In Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that benedictions received from the demigods are all temporary and are meant for the less intelligent. In other words, because the demigods are all materialistically conditioned, materialistically conditioned souls, although they are situated in very exalted positions, their benedictions cannot be permanent. Permanent benediction is spiritual benediction, since a spirit soul is eternal. It is also said, wait, wow, this is nice. Permanent benediction is spiritual benediction, since a spirit soul is eternal. It is also said in Bhagavad Gita that only persons who have lost their intelligence go to worship the demigods. Therefore, Suniti told her son that he should not seek the mercy of the demigods, but should directly approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead to mitigate his misery. Material opulences are controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead through its different potencies and specifically the goddess of fortune. Therefore, those who are after material opulences seek the pleasure or mercy of the goddess of fortune. Even the highly placed demigods worship the goddess of fortune. But the goddess of fortune, Mahalakshmi, herself is always seeking the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone, therefore, who takes to worship of the Supreme Lord automatically receives the blessings of the Goddess of Fortune. At this stage of his life, Dhruva Maharaja was seeking material opulences, and his mother advised rightly that even for material opulences, it is better to worship not the demigods but the Supreme Lord. Although a pure devotee does not seek benedictions from the Supreme Lord for material advancement, still it is stated in Bhagavad Gita that pious persons go to the Lord even for material benedictions. A person who goes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead for material gain is gradually purified in association with the Supreme Lord. Thus, he becomes free from all material desires and is elevated to the platform of spiritual life. Unless one is raised to the one is raised to the spiritual platform, it is not possible for him to completely transcend all material contamination. Suniti, Suniti, the mother of Dhruva, was a far-seeing woman. and therefore she advised her son to worship the Supreme Lord and no one else. The Lord is described herein as lotus-eyed, Patna Palasha Lochanat. When a person is fatigued, if he sees a lotus flower, all his fatigue can be immediately reduced to nil. Similarly, when an agreed person sees a lotus face of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately all his grief is reduced. A lotus flower is also an insignia in the hands of Lord Vishnu as well, in the hand of the goddess of fortune. The whisperers of the goddess of fortune and Lord Vishnu together certainly are very opulent in all respects, even in material life. The Lord is sometimes described as Shiva Virinchi Nutam. Shiva Virinchi Nutam, which means that Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma also offer their respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Text 24. Maitreya Vacha Evam. Prabhu, the Sanskrit part. Thank you. Maitreya Vacha Evam Sanjaliptam Liptam Matur Kanar Karnyarthamagamachaha Sannim Sanniyamyatmana Atmanam Nishchakrama Pittuhu Purat. Maitreya Vacha, the great sage Maitreya said, Evam, thus, Sanjalapitam, spoken together, Matuhu from the mother, Akarnya, hearing, Artha purposeful, Vachaha, words, Sanniyamya, controlling, Atmana, by the mind, Atmanam, Atmana, by the mind, Atmanam, own self, Nishkarma, got out, Pituhu, of the father, Purat, from the house. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued. The instruction of Dhruva Maharaja's mother Suniti was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with intelligence and fixed determination, he left his father's house. Purport. Both the mother and son were lamenting Dhruva Maharaja's being insulted by his stepmother and his father not having taken any step on this issue. But mere lamentation is useless. One should find out the means to mitigate one's lamentation. Thus, both the mother and the son decided to take the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord because that is the only solution to all material problems. It is indicated in this connection that Dhruva Maharaja left his father's capital city to go to a secluded place to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the instruction of Prahlad Maharaja also that if one is seeking peace of mind, he should free himself from all contamination of family life and take uh, the shelter of the Supreme God by going to the forest. To the Gaudaya Vaishnava, this forest is a forest of Vrinda or Vrindavana. If one takes shelter of Vrindavana under Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani, certainly all the problems of his life are solved very easily. Text 25. Narada, Prabhu Sanskrit, thank you. Naradastopa Karnya Gyatva Tasya Chitkrishitam Sprishtva Murdhanyadgnene Panina Praha Vismitaha. Narada, the great sage Narada, that Upakarnya, overhearing, Gyatva, and knowing, Tasya, his Dhruva Maharaja's Chikirshitam activities, sprishtva by touching, murdhani on the head, agha which can drive away all sinful activities, panina by the hand, praha said, Vish, Vismitaha being surprised. Translation: the great sage Narada overheard this news and understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaja, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva and touching his head with all with his all virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. Purport. When Dhruva Maharaja was talking with his stepmother, with his mother Suniti, of all the incidents that had taken place in the palace, Narada was not present. Thus, the question may be raised how Narada overheard all these topics. The answer is that Narada is a Trikalagnya. He is so powerful that he can understand the past, future, and present of everyone's heart, just like the super soul. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore, after understanding the strong determination of Dhruva Maharaja, he came to help him. It can be explained in this way: the Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart. And as soon as he understands that a living entity is serious about entering devotional service, he sends his representative. In this way, Narada was sent to Dhruva Maharaja. This is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. By the grace of the spiritual master and Krishna, one can enter into devotional service. Because of Dhruva Maharaja's determination, Krishna, the super soul, immediately sent his representative, Narada, to initiate him. Wow. Text 26. Aho tejaha kshatriyanam manam bhangamamshatam बालोऽप्ययं हृदा धत्ते यत्समातुरत् सद्वचः. Aho, how surprising it is. Tejaha, power, Kshatriyanam, of the Kshatriyas, Manabhangam, hurting the prestige, Amrashatam, unable to tolerate, Balaha, only a child, Api, although I am this, Hrida, at heart, Dhatte, has taken, Yat, that which, Sama, Samatuhu, of the stepmother, Asat, unpalatable, Vasaha, words. Translation: how wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas! They cannot tolerate even a slight infringement of their prestige. Just imagine, this boy is only a small child, yet harsh words from his stepmother proved unbearable to him. Purport: the qualifications of the Kshatriyas are described in the Bhagavad Gita. Two important qualifications are to have a sense of prestige and not to flee from battle. So everyone is a Kshatriya nowadays. Have a sense of prestige and not to flee from battle. It appears that the Kshatriya blood within the body of Dhruva Maharaj was naturally very active. If the Brahmanical Kshatriya or Vaishya culture is maintained in a family, naturally the sons and grandsons inherit the spirit of the particular class. Therefore, according to the Vedic system, the samskara or the reformatory system is maintained very rigidly. If one fails to observe the reformatory measures current in the family, then immediately is degraded to a lower standard of life. Text 27. Narada Vacha Nad Nadhup Nadhup Nadhupi Apyavamanam Te Sammanam Vapi Putraka Lakshya Mahakumarasya Saktasya Krindanadishu. Narada Vacha, the great sage Narada said, Na, not adhuna, just now, api, although, avamanam, insult, te, unto you, sammanam, offering respects, va, or, api, certainly, putraka, my dear boy, lakshayamaha, I can see, kumarasya, of boys like you, saktasya, being attached, pridana, adeshu, to sports and frivolities. Translation: the great sage Narada told Dhruva, my dear boy, you are only a little boy whose attachment is to sports and other frivolities. Why are you so affected by words insulting your honor? Purport: ordinarily, if a child is rebuked as a rascal or fool, he smiles and does not take such insulting words very seriously. Similarly, if words of honor are offered, he does not appreciate them. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, the Kshatriya spirit was so strong that he could not tolerate a slight insult from his stepmother, which injured his Kshatriya prestige. Text 28. Vikalpe trityamanepi na hyas santosha hetavaha pumso mohamrate bhinna yaloke nija karma bihi. Vikalpa, alternation. Vidyamane, api, although there is, na, not, he, certainly, asantosha, dissatisfaction, hetabaha, causes, pumsaha, of the persons, mohamrate, without being illusioned, bhinna, separated, yat loke, within this world, nija karma bihi, by his own work. Translation: my dear Dhruva, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of the illusory energy, because every living entity is controlled by its previous actions, and therefore there are different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. Just a minute, bro. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of illusory energy, because every living entity is controlled by its previous actions. What do you mean previous actions? You mean the previous birth or in the past?
Previous karma, bro.
Previous karma. Okay. And therefore, there are different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. Purport: in the Vedas, it is said that the living entity is always uncontaminated and unaffected by material association. The living entity gets different types of material bodies because of its previous fruitive actions. If, however, one understands the philosophy that as a living spirit soul, he has an affinity for neither suffering nor enjoyment, then he is considered to be a liberated person. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhutaha Prasanatma. When one is actually situated on the transcendental platform, he has nothing for which to lament and nothing for which to hanker. Bhagavad Gita 18:54. Narada Rishi first of all wanted to impress upon Dhruva Maharaja that he was only a child. He should not have been affected by words of insult or honor. And if he were so developed as to understand honor and insult, then this understanding should have been applied in his own life. He should have known that honor and dishonor are both destined only by one's previous actions. Therefore, one should not be sorry or happy under any circumstances. Text 29. Paritushye tattasat तत्तसाता तावन मात्रेण पुरुषः दैवोपसादितं यद्वीक्षये कर्ति विभूतः paritoshet, one should be satisfied. Tataha, therefore, tata, my dear boy, tavat, up to such matrena quantity, purusha, a person, daiva, destiny, upasaditam, offered by yavat as vikshya, seeing, ishwaragatin, the process of the supreme, buddha, one who's intelligent. Translation: the person of the the process of the supreme personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process and be satisfied with whatever comes, favorable or unfavorable, by a supreme will. Wow. The process of the supreme personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process. Could you just come down a bit? I'll just finish that line one more time. Should accept the process and be satisfied whatever comes, favorable or unfavorable, by his supreme will. Purport: the great sage Narada instructed Dhruva Maharaja that one should be satisfied in all circumstances. Everyone who is intelligent should know that because of our concept of bodily existence, we are subjected to suffering and enjoyment. One who is in the transcendental position beyond the concept of bodily life is considered to be intelligent. One who is a devotee especially accepts all reverses as gifts of the Supreme Lord. One who is a devotee especially accepts all reverses as gifts of the Supreme Lord. When a devotee is put into distress, he accepts this as God's mercy and offers him repeated obeisances with his body, mind, and intellect. An intelligent person, therefore, should be always satisfied depending on the mercy of the Lord. Text 30. अथा मात्र पदिष्ठेन ऋतसि यत्प्रसादं स वै पुंसां दुराराध्यो मतो मम. Atha, therefore, matra, by your mother, upadishtena, being instructed, yogena, by mystic meditation, avrurutasi, want to elevate yourself, yat prasadam, whose mercy, saha, that, why, certainly, pumsaha, of the living entities, duraradhyaha, very difficult to perform. Yeah, okay. Mataha, opinion, mama, mind. Translation: now you have decided to undertake the mystic process of meditation under the instruction of your mother, just to achieve the mercy of the Lord. But in my opinion, such austerities are not possible for any ordinary man. It is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: the process of Bhakti Yoga is simultaneously very difficult and very easy to perform. Sri Narada Muni, the supreme spiritual master, is testing Dhruva Maharaja to see how determined he is to prosecute devotional service. This is the process of accepting a disciple. The great sage Narada Muni has come to Dhruva under the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead just to initiate him. Yet he is testing his determination to execute the process. It is a fact, however, that for a sincere person, devotional service is very easy. But for one who is not determined and sincere, this process is very difficult. Text 31. You want me to read it again, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu. Next one. Okay, this is...
Munyaha.
Yes, Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu?
Nothing, Prabhu.
Text 31. Munyaha padevim yasya nisange no richo nihi sange no rujanmi nihi sange no rujanma bihi na vidur ma na vidur mrgayanto bi tivra yoga samadhina Munyaha, great sages, Padavim, Path, Yasya, whose Nihisangena, by detachment, Uru Janma Bihi, after many births, Na, never, Viduhu, understood, Mrgayantaha, searching for, Api, certainly, Tevra Yoga, severe austerities, Samadhina, by trance. Translation Narada Muni continued, after trying this process for many, many births and remaining unattached to material contamination, placing themselves continually in trance and executing many types of austerities, many mystic yogis could not find the end of the path of God realization. Text 32. Ato nivartatamesha nirghantastva nishpalaha yateshyati bhavan kale shreyasam samupastite. Ataha, hereafter, nivartatam, just stop yourself. Ishaha, this nirbandha, determination. Tava, your nishpala, without any result. Yatashyati, in the future, you should try. Bhavan, yourself. Kale, in the due course of time. Shreyasham, opportunities. Samapasthite, being present. Translation. For this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. It is better that you go home. When you have grown up, by the mercy of the Lord, you will get the chance for these mystic performance performances. At the time, at that time, you may execute this function. Purport. Generally, a thoroughly trained person takes to spiritual perfection at the end of his life. According to Vedic system, therefore, life is divided into four stages. In the beginning, one becomes a brahmachari who studies Vedic knowledge under the authoritative guidance of a spiritual master. He then becomes a householder and executes household duties according to the Vedic process. Then the householder becomes a vanaprastha, and gradually, when he is mature, he renounces household life disconnected. And Vanaprastha life also takes to sannyasa, completely devoting himself to devotional service. Generally, people think that childhood is meant for enjoying life by engaging oneself in sports and play. Youth is meant for enjoying the company of young girls. And one and when one becomes old at the time of death, then he may try to execute devotional service or a mystic yoga process. But this conclusion is not for devotees who are actually serious. The great sage Narada Muni is instructing Dhruva Maharaja just to test him again. So, just to test him. Actually, the direct order is that from any point of life, one should begin rendering devotional service. But it is a duty of the spiritual master to test the disciple to see how seriously he desires to execute devotional service. Then he may be initiated. Text 33. Yasya yaddaiva vivihitam sa tena sukha dukkhayoho atmanam toshayan dehi tamasa paramachati. Yasya, anyone, yat, that which, daiva, by destiny, vihitam, destined, saha, such a person, tena, by that, sukha dukkhayoho, happiness or distress, atmanam, oneself, toshayan, being satisfied, dehi, an embodied soul, Tamasaha of the darkness, Param to the other side, Rachati crosses. Translation: one should try to keep himself satisfied in the condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endures in this way is able to cross the darkness. One should try to keep himself situated in any condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endures in this way is able to cross over the darkness of nescience very easily. Purport: material existence consists of pious and impious fruitive activities. As long as one is engaged in any kind of activity other than devotional service, it will result in happiness and distress of this material world. When we enjoy life in so-called material happiness, it is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant actions of our pious activities. It is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant actions of our pious activities. And when we are put into suffering, it is to be understood that we are diminishing the resultant action of our impious activities. Instead of being attached to the circumstantial happiness and distress resulting from pious or impious activities, if we want to get out of the clutches of this nescience, then whatever positions we are put in by the will of the Lord, we should accept. Thus, if we simply surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we get out of the clutches of this material existence. Prabhu, how many more verses are we reading?
Next one is last one.
Okay. Text 34. Kunadikanmudam lipse nukrosham. Whoa. Who is my screen turn or okay? Gunadikanu mudam lapse nukrosham gunadhamat maitrim samanadan vichad samanadan samanadan vichena tatparai tatparai bhuyate. Gunadikat, one who is more qualified. Mudam, pleasure. Lipsate, one should feel. Anukrosham, compassion. Gunaadmat, one who is less qualified. Maitrim, friendship. Samanat, with an equal. Anmichet, one should desire. Na, not. Tapai, by tribulation. Abhibhuyate becomes affected. Translation: every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than him, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by threefold miseries of this material world. Generally, when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we become envious of him. And when we find someone less qualified, we deride him. And when we find someone equal, we become very proud of our activities. These are the causes of material tribulations. The great sage Narada therefore advised that a devotee should act perfectly. Instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. Instead of being oppressive to a less qualified man, one should be compassionate toward him just to raise him to the proper standard. And when one meets an equal, instead of being proud of one's own activities before him, one should treat him as a friend. One should also have compassion for the people in general who are suffering due to forgetfulness of Krishna. These important functions will make one happy within this material world.
Haribol. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, now
Thank
we're
you,
running
Prabhu.
out of time, so we must go to Shikshastakam prayers. These were very nice verses. Very nice teachings.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, like, there was not the, so, like, Dhruva Maharaj is already went or is now going for the forest? Like, because Maharaj is also doing instruction to Dhruva Maharaj. that
Yes, Prabhu,
he
he's now
doing-
leaving.
Hare
In this chapter, he
Krishna,
left.
Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam to all of you. Yes.
No, no,
Hare Krishna, Shubham Prabhu, Dandar Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Shubham Prabhu. Dana Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhu, can you give me some little summary like I have joined late, Prabhu? So, Siddharth Prabhu, you have read a lot. Can you tell me
Yes, Prabhu,
something?
I can. So we have Dhruva Maharaj who has been determined to take the shelter of the Supreme Lord by the instruction and guidance of his mother. So when he left for the forest from his father's house, he met up with Narada Rishi, who then we get to know that was sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to initiate him. So Narada Rishi was asking him many questions and trying to talk him out of it instead of going to do mystic meditation, which is very difficult for a lot of people. So you being a child, that is Dhruva Maharaj, him being a child, how can he gain success? Which is when we also get to know that Narada was actually testing his determination. He was clearly sent by Narayana himself in order to make sure that he just to clarify his determination and to see if he's actually very much single focused. He kept on giving him more and more reasons as to why his efforts would be futile in this mystic meditation. And that's a just Prabhu so far I learned. I hope you got it.
Something important from Parpat Prabhu.
Perfect. I've taken screenshots. I'll send them to you in the group. I'll highlight and send them. Is that fine?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Is that fine, Prabhu? Continue.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
Yeah, there was the spiritual master needs to test the disciple if he's serious. Okay, now let's go to the six Askam prayers. Thank you so much, Rat Prabhu, for reading so much and giving a nice conclusion.
Thank you, Prabhu.
चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुदिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
Nam
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 Namkari Buddha Nijasar
Okay.
Shakti-stattarpita niyamita Smaranena kala etadrishita ukvavapunvamapi Tadvaivamidvisham haijanina nugraha Like, I was started, so
तृणादपि सञ्जयन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमान्यामानदेन कीर्तनीयः सदा हरे।
धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
ऐनन्दतं च किङ्करितं वें भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजास्थितदीशं चिन्तया।
नयनं गलदस्फुधारया वदनं गतगतरुद्धया गिरा पुलकैर्निजितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भक्तते।
युगायितं न मे चेन चक्षुषा प्रापिशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दं विरेण मे।
आश्लिष्यवादरतां पन्नष्टु माम् अदर्थनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विद्धात् लम्बटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव न परः।
Haribol. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings and those who have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda in these transcendental names. You have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of your kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Oh, Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire to be rich man, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your purpose, devotion, and service, but the
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna has no Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly in his emprise or makes me broken hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
Haribol, Shri
Shri
Chaitanya Prabhu
Shastakam
Jai,
ki jai,
Jai,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai. Baujanma Karaya
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Tabutana Krishna Pada Premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many birds, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the chanting of the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
The second offense is to consider the names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense to recite
Third
the
of
orders of future master and considering her another in person.
Fourth is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Fifth
Fifth
offense to
offense to
consider such a
consider
glory.
the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. Sixth opens to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. Seventh opens is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Eighth opens to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna, one of auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as food activities Karmakanda. Ninth opens is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name of. 10th opens it to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord and maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive to chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Thomas God must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired Krishna Prema. Desired success Krishna Prema. I open my respectful obeisances and all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen soul. Om
वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः गौर वैष्णव की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल
Hare Bol.
Thank you so much, Prabhus, for your kind association. It was really nice
Thank you so
reading
much,
session.
Prabhu. Hare
Oh,
Krishna. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you very much.
See you again
Hare
tomorrow.
Bol.
Jai Shri
We
Prabhupada.